I've been holding off on posting a bunch of build videos, even though I've made over 100 already, because I wanted to understand the cap breakers and give you guys a bunch of secrets as we go. There's going to be so much in here for you to digest, and you can pause, take screenshots, take some notes, and then go from there. But basically, this is a builder video for you overall. We're going to run through a lot of key things that I've learned and that will help you basically master your builds. Maybe you already made one, that's fine. On your second build, you're going to fully understand and appreciate the game. Leave a like so that the algorithm knows we popping. Subscribe and comment if you down with me, and let's get it. Okay, so first things first, you're watching my 6'8" guard build, and it's basically unstoppable offensively and defensively. It's a monster. And I have a lot of fun with it. It's been a fun time just kind of going out there at the start of the game and went off. I didn't really focus on cap breakers because we weren't sure. I made a build that can play day one and just be good. With the cap breakers, it is even stronger. Of course, you guys know how that works, the max plus ones and all that good stuff. But today we're going to be doing like, okay, finally, I know cap breakers well. Spent basically 100 hours playing 2K, understanding what's out there. And then now I'm going to give you a rundown on what's possible for this game. Okay, check it out. Let's get it. First things first, you're looking at cap breakers. This is just one screenshot of many screenshots. I've tested different builds. You might see one of the builds I'm gonna make in the future, but basically I found ways to get the exact attribute rating that I want with 2 or 3 cap breakers in this game. So making hundreds of builds and then taking screenshots and kind of remembering which one I liked and what combination worked, what didn't work, and take a screenshot if you want on a bunch of these. These are going to be a specific build that I've been trying to make, which is a small center. I want to break the game, and it's going to be pretty crazy. And so yeah, so it's nonstop build making and ridiculous experimenting that I did. So before we get into that specifically, I'm going to go into the builder, take you through the process of what you should be doing and how you should be going. We're going to focus on a center and a small center because that's what I'm going to be making next. Right now, the meta is a big 7-footer or higher, right? And that's the right way to go. If you're going to do a traditional center, I would say put a 7-footer, raise the wingspan. You can lower the wingspan a little, but you want to have the ability to have a very high rebound. So let's just make believe this is what I did. Now I want to be a little heavy, so I can just put my weight up, for example, and then expand the wingspan, right? Make a small wingspan to have a 93 or something. There's different ways you can go. Personally, I'm not doing any of that. We're gonna go the 6'8". I know that sounds crazy, and anybody watching most likely like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Totally get it. But this is me because I want to have a versatile center who can have fun out there. Really more about just going out there and having some fun. Okay. But we'll talk about the full rundown on what the build can do and how it's going to go. The way I've learned, for example, one thing I've figured out is the thresholds. So if I have a 75 speed with ball on a center build at 6'8", now leave it right here, you're going to get what you just saw in one of those screenshots. I'll show it again, don't worry. But that means is I can put 3 cap breakers, and then I'm going to get this to an 86 ball handle. This is the type of center I like to make for fun. This is like, I'm not competitive. This is strictly just to go out there and isolate the center and get some crazy plays. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. And I already get an 86. If you don't believe me, just skip ahead to watch how that works out. Then you have the 83 specifically for limitless range. If you want to make it further and shoot from the hash, you can buff this up and go crazy with it. Okay, that's what's necessary. Now, these are the choices you want to make. You can do a 90 standing dunk and leave it just like that. You have really good driving dunks and you got a really good standing dunk. The build is offensively absolutely ridiculous. 86 ball handle, you get Zach LaVine dribble style and all the really good dribbles. From the highlights you just watched, the build is going to be able to do that dribbling, but then it's going to have the standing dunk at a 90 like a center. And then, as I said earlier, I want to go crazy with these rebounds. Now you can go with a 96, okay? And this is going to be just fine because it's already there. You could use one cap breaker, two cap breakers, or whatever. Since we have the two cap breakers, I drop this down to a 94 and allow a max plus 2 to go right here. And you can use your specialization for rebounds, but I'm going to tell y'all something different. Do something different. Now, honestly, you would rather have offensive rebounds high, but we're not going to go too crazy with that. We're going to put it at 80. Then blocks, I personally feel like, why make a center if you're not going to have high blocks? Right? Kind of like makes no sense. So we're going to just go, excuse me, get my vertical up. There we go. So now we're looking good. Guess what? I messed up on the build. I want higher blocks. What do I have to do? And go with this. Did I get a higher block if I drop this? I really don't know if that's the case. Oh. We cannot. Okay. So either way, I'm stuck at 92. So I would drop this down to an 88. Now you have very good blocking. There's centers who are 7'4" or 7 foot who don't have this high of interior and blocking, just so you guys know. Unfortunately, that's how some players are playing this year. But this is kind of like just a quick example of some of the things that you're going to do. And then secondly, this is very important. Got to have more strength than these big 7-footers. All right. So for me personally, I like it at a 94. Then you can use a cap breaker in there from your specialization. You don't want to use it for whatever setup you have. Let's say I put specialization on shooting because I want to have some extra badges. I can use this max plus the 2 cap breakers in here and gets this to a 96, 95 to get the brick wall and all that other stuff. But basically 93 is the best. I would go 91. And I like agility. If I'm going to be this small, I'm going to be power forward most of the time, to be honest, but we'll just do it like this to be able to have something. This is not bad, right? But what I also want to do is boost up my perimeter because I am so small. I'm going to need something. You can start tweaking things, like for example, the agility, R center. You're not going to be guarding type of guards half the time. Mostly going to be. You can tweak that. The speed is fast for a center, but I promise you, against a true 7-footer, you'll be surprised. And what I'm going to do right now, take you through the motion with no cuts to show you why this type of build could be crazy. I need y'all to stick with me because a lot of people will be like, that's a trash build. Look at it, it doesn't have pass. Trust me, right? And then it doesn't have free throw. You only need under 10 cap breakers. And I believe everybody's going to get 10. Even if you're a casual player that plays once a week, you'll end up with 10. Just join a crew. You'll get 4 there. Win the season pass for 2 or 3 seasons. That's another. In 4 seasons, you got 8. And then there's some in the rewards, which you get right away. And then there's others. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to go. But this is the semi build. And it might look weird, but I'm going to go right into my career and show you the cap breakers. The point here is it's all about cap breakers. The lesson starts actually right here. So I just spent 10 minutes of your time making the build that I want to make, more or less. I would tweak it. The point is, this is the build I'm making. Tweaking. Okay. So in here, as you see, my pass is low. I don't have the dribbles that I want because I want this to be an ISO center. And then I don't have the free throws if I'm going to play 5s. Need that. So, what are cap breakers? Right in here, I'm getting 86 by the end, right? If you do the numbers, okay? 86, perfectly fine for my dribbles. And then if I put 2 cap breakers, I go up to 55, and I can go up to 65, basically be a good enough passer out of the rebound. And for 1 or 2 cap breakers, guess what? I'm already maxed. I have a very well-rounded build, even though you're thinking trash. Okay, I don't have steals on it. Sure, I could adjust things. Guess what I could do? I can lower some strength. Say, you know what? If I get bullied a little, it's fine as long as I can get enough rebounds, have high rebounds. And if I really wanted to, I can tweak it even better. I don't need these cap breakers here. I just wanted to have a crazy dribbling center, something that people are not doing right now. Everybody has a 7'4" shooting center or a 7-footer that can shoot, has okay rebounding. Nobody's making the tiny centers with good dribbles to ISO the centers. And I feel like this is the best. I make these every year. Later on in the year, I'm gonna make it early to really go out here and have fun. Okay, but this is just an example. And again, it's all about the cap breakers. Main goal of today's video is talking about cap breakers, showing you like, oh wow, okay, I see where he's coming from. You can take a very cool build that you think is great the way it is, but then just highlight it and even make it better. So if it's, for example, free throws and passing and dribbles, you boost up. And there's other builds, for example, my standing dunk on this one, I can boost it all the way up to like the 80s just from the cap breaker, 5 cap breakers. Okay, see, this is the main build I'm actually gonna make. This is the real one. Still has good interior, good blocking, good rebound strength for a center, and then it has nice perimeter defense, which is important. It has an 80 speed, 77 agility, and powerhouse driving dunk. The standing dunk goes up as well, which you'll see cap breakers right here. But imagine a build that can get high standing dunks, even though I'm going to be ISOing. So these are the kind of play styles. And if you saw my build last year before the end of the year, I had a really fun build that was a 6'8", just kind of like the one I want to make. The one you're watching right now in these highlights is 6'8", and it's going to be able, you're going to be able to do everything that this build does outside of shooting. This build has a 92, but the builds for the centers are going to have an 83. They're still going to spark because you're not going to be taking wild fade shots. You're going to be taking focused set shots the whole game. So the only difference is that. Other than that, it has the same dribbling and finishing, but it has stronger standing dunks. So this is where, like I said, it can be a crazy year for the game if you put it together properly. So take your time. I know it's gonna suck for what I'm saying here, but just make your build, go into the career with a cap breaker from the season pass or wherever you get it. There's a lot of ways. I got videos about that, but do it and then check to see if it's going to give you the right boost. If it doesn't, you can tweak 1 or 2 little things. It might take an extra hour to remake the builds a few times and then just experiment until you reach the right quota. If you don't hit it, then that's okay. Just try again and then keep going until you find the right one. I'm going to be making builds like that, and at this year I have to take into account the cap breaker system and do different versions. So we're going to have a lot more consideration for y'all. So that is you unlocking this system in your own way and playing it how you feel comfortable. Again, like I said, I'm not here to tell you what build to make. I'm here to just give you the idea of how to play with it. All right. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment if this was entertaining and you enjoy yourself. I appreciate your time, your energy. I know what it is. Out. Peace. Oh, by the way, new videos popping up on screen. Bunch of good stuff. Take it.